Hey, what's up guys? So we're here to show off the Deep of Blue Eyes in action. This is the new Blue Eyes card that's not coming out until next year, but it actually is a pretty cool card. Now this duel that you guys are going to be seeing is kind of more for the Yu-Gi-Oh anime fans. This is a Yugi slash Kaiba hybrid deck, a YuGiKaiba deck. We've got the Dragon of Red Eyes plus the Deep of Blue Eyes, and it obviously has to have Dark Magician in here. But nonetheless, it's actually not that bad of a card just by itself. The Deep of Blue Eyes is very good for the ability to instantly, once it's summoned, you get to go ahead and add a level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand, which you guys already know. I'm already thinking about running a Blue Eyes Lightsworn deck, but there's another effect, and you guys actually got to see its effect, because this effect doesn't get activated that often. You get to actually banish this card from your graveyard to make it so all level 8 or higher dragon monsters you control gain 1000 attack. And it says you can only use each effect of it once per turn. But that's kind of cool. Sometimes there's just a monster that just happens to have too much attack for you to deal with. And that can be kind of a threat for Blue Eyes, especially with so many monsters saying that you can't target or destroy them with some effects. You're going to be able to just boost up your Blue Eyes and just go ahead and run over your opponent's monster. Now, obviously, with the Dragon of Red Eyes, that makes things so much easier because now that you actually have another boss monster to follow up your plays with. But anyways, this is going to be actually a little bit shorter of a video. I do happen to have more plays, but it's more so just showing off the Dragon of Red Eyes. But I also wanted to mention what was really cool is just being able to utilize that effect of the White Stone as well. We're talking about the White Stone of Ancient, where during the end phase you're able to bring back another monster. Now, obviously with this play over here, you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the entire turn, so that is a downside, but it does technically set up yourself for potentially later, because you have that effect where you can go ahead and banish it and then re-add back a Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, so you can add that card back to your hand, which can later be maybe utilized through other means of summoning. So one thing that I also want to mention was kind of a cool idea here is the Dragon Revival of Rhapsody. So this card is actually a decent card, but it has a huge downside. But anyways, if you control a spellcaster, which the Dragon of Red Eyes happens to be spellcaster, you can actually target up to 2 dragon monsters in your graveyard, including at least 1 normal monster, and then special summon. Now there's the huge downside. Your opponent takes no damage this entire turn, but it's a Reborn for 2. I was even thinking that like you don't even need to utilize this. I mean, obviously with Reborn, you can instantly just bring back this card or any other card that just brings back another monster. Not only do you get this card out, which has 2500 attack, but that effect where if it's special summon, you get to add a ritual or the polymerization. It's kind of optional here. And then on top of this, with the Dragon Spirit of White, he's going to be able to actually banish. I actually feel like I'm playing Duel Links every time I sing this card, but nonetheless, we're going to also have the polymerization, and then during the end phase, he's going to be able to bring back another Dragon Spirit of White, and then basically get rid of all his opponent's cards over here. So rip the Sky Striker player. He's definitely not going to be looking too good from coming back from this. In fact, this card just absolutely just destroys so many different archetypes. Like they just stand no chance against the Dragon of Red Eyes. But nonetheless, we're going to see the activation and ability of the White Stone. He's going to go ahead and activate this effect, so he can go ahead and stop that, absorb that, and it was already gained pretty much as soon as this card came out anyways, because this card is really strong. But again, just a little bit of utility that you don't have to go straight for this card via the Predator Plant. I just wanted to mention that you can go ahead and add Poly. I mean, this card only requires Dark Magician and another Red Eye. So maybe we could see a Blue Eyes Dark Magician deck kind of emerge out of this, because again, this card lets you search out another card, so it kind of facilitates the recyclability, and then again, it boosts up your cards so you can maybe get over some problematic cards for your matchups over here. But anyways, let's go ahead and go over this. And like I said, this is more so for like the Yu-Gi-Oh fans. I like the idea. I like the name of the YuGiKaiba Dragon Eyes deck. I just like the name of it. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile, and we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about it. So first off, we've got 2 copies of Blue Eyes, 3 copies of Dark Magician, 2 copies of the Blue Eyes alternative White Dragon, then 3 copies of new Deep of Blue Eyes Dragon. And guys, I actually really want to make a Lightsworn Blue Eyes deck, and I actually think you can be quite good with this, because all you need to do is mill this and then special summon this, add JD, and then you're good to go. I think that that could be really cool. If you guys are new to the channel and you do want to see that, hit subscribe, turn that bell, and I'll be uploading that very, very soon here. And then we've got 2 copies of the Dragon Spirit of White, then 2 copies of King of Swamp, 3 copies of White Stone of Ancients, 3 copies of Sage with the Blue Eyes, or Eyes of Blue, and then we have the Mirror Resonator. So that's just makes it for an extra play as a special summon monster. So if your opponent controls a face-up monster that was special from the extra deck, and you don't, well, this card's in your hand or graveyard, you just special summon for free, but you banish it when it leaves the field. And then you can only use this effect about once per turn. Then once per turn, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and treat this card's level as that monster's original level if it's used for a synchro summon this turn. Although you're not really going to be synchroing too often in this deck, I'll be honest. But it's just another card that you can kind of just special summon for free. Then we got 1 copy of the Red Eyes Fusion for your Proto Plant, and then 3 copies of the Return of Dragon Lords, and then 3 copies of Magical Eyes Fusion. This is actually really good play with being able to utilize the ability to copy a lot of the fusion cards, because remember, you can copy any, one Polymerization, normal, or quick play spell or fusion normal card, which you can go ahead and just go ahead and bring out another Dragon of Red Eyes, and this is basically a huge part of the win condition. So we got regular Polymerization, because you can technically search it out with this, and then we got the Sky Striker engine in here as well, so this is just jamming wave over here. And then we've got 3 copies of Trade-In, 3 copies of Dragon Shrine, and then 3 copies of Melody of the Awakening Dragon, 3 copies of Engage, 3 copies of Dragon Revival Rhapsody, and then 1 Reborn, 1 Hornet Drones, and then 2 copies of Eternal Soul to bring back your Dark Magician here. I think that maybe we can make a Dark Magician Blue Eyes deck now. It finally is coming around, like all the scrub decks that used to play them like combined because they're their favorite cards, right? But this card is insanely OP. I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen this card and complained about it. When it comes out, like, what do you do, dude? Sometimes there's just like nothing you can do for the most part. Unless you have a Kaiju, it's a tough matchup to really deal with, especially when they have this plus like another monster. It could be a task, but we got triple of the Dragon of Red Eyes, because you got 1 with the Predator Plant and then 2 with this, and then you have 3 extra Magical Eyes fusions over here. And it literally, like, you're always going to have that extra Blue Eyes in a Blue Eyes deck. It really just comes down to just 1 extra Spellcaster, which, hey, guess what? This is a Spellcaster! Pretty great stuff indeed. Anyways, Tyrant Red Dragon, and then Vermilion. None of these really matter too much, so number 38 is probably useful here. And then we got the Dingirsu, and then Boral Sword, then we got the Hip Star Guy, and then we've got the Anaconda, which this card I think is too OP, man. And then we got the Sky Striker engine. The Sky Striker engine is just pretty much splashed in here because it's just really good and consistent just to have access to be able to draw the card. On top of that, you have access to going for more link plays, and also it just makes this card really easy to go ahead and make. But at the end of the day, you can go and drop it. Again, at the end of the day, this is more so for like the fans than anything, but I do want to make a Light Swarm Blue Eyes deck just because I think it's just too cool. I'm trying to utilize this card, obviously. Again, you're just able to freely special summon another relatively strong monster, plus you get that extra effect of being able to add JD, which, like I said, I'll do that one very soon. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I want to give a big shout out to Stardust YuGiKaiba for hooking me up with his deck profile as well as the plays. And I'll link him down below if you guys want to check him out. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys on the next one very soon. And if you are new here, hit subscribe, turn on that bell so you don't miss out on that Lightsworn deck. I honestly just love Lightsworn. Even in 2019 where it doesn't see play, I don't know, it's just one of my favorite decks. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and peace.